All right, going live now. Hi everyone and welcome. Thanks for joining. We will be going live at 7, so we'll just give it another couple of minutes in case there's anybody else who'd like to join. Hi again everyone and thanks for joining us. I'm really excited to welcome you to our online open event for Access to Higher Education. Tonight I'm joined by our Director of Access to Higher Education, Michelle. Just so you know, throughout the session, if you do have any questions, you can pop them in the chat box, which is just to the right hand side of your screen. We will hold these questions towards the end of the session, as Michelle will do an introductory talk first. Over to you, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Izzy. So good evening, everybody. Lovely to see you. As Izzy said, my name is Michelle Tocker. I am the Director of Access to Higher Education at Manchester College, UCEN Manchester, and we are here to talk about getting you into university and supporting you in your progression. So an Access to Higher Education course is a very unique type of course, and what I want to do this evening is to develop your understanding on that course, to introduce you to the breadth of our diplomas that fit into this area, to look at some of your funding options for that course at level 3, to see what some of our students say about us and some of our success stories, and to answer any and all questions that you may have. So an Access to Higher Education course is a specifically designed level 3 course that will be completed within 10 months of start. It's specifically designed for mature students like yourself, aged 19 or over, and some of our students are well into their 50s, and that's absolutely fine. That's exactly what the course is for. These students don't have level 3 qualifications already, or alternatively, they may well have been incredibly successful and have maybe level 3 qualifications degrees in a particular field, but that field isn't particularly relevant to a career that they're looking to go on to. So if you're looking to change your career, you're looking to move up in your career, or can think about a slightly completely different area of something you've always wanted to do, then an Access to Higher Education course is specifically designed for you. It's about developing all of the skills and the underpinning knowledge that are going to support you in being successful on your chosen degree and eventually into your chosen career pathway. So we have a number of different diplomas within the college. We are the second largest access to higher education provider in the country, and we've probably got some of the greatest breadth of provision. So we offer access courses in business, in law, politics and society, in careers in social and community work, in medicine, dentistry and pharmacy, combined science and medical science, nursing and midwifery, engineering, radiography, orthotics and prosthetics. Always have a little bit of difficulty saying that one. English writing and media, social science, health and physiotherapy, teacher training, hospitality, leisure and tourism, veterinary science and zoology. They're well-established courses with well-established pathways into a range of higher education degrees. Coming for September 2021, we'll also be offering environmental and urban studies. For some of our students, they don't have the qualifications to get straight onto an access course, and they may well be offered a pre-access course that will take a year to achieve, and along that, as part of that course and as part of that offer, they'll also be achieving their English and Maths qualifications. And we offer pre-access courses in business, humanities, health professions and science and engineering, and they are specifically designed to support students into and onto an access course before they're moving into university. So lots of choice. There should be something there for everybody, hopefully. So in terms of funding and access to higher education courses, there's lots of different options, and I would urge that you speak with our guidance team in particular to explore your personal circumstances, but to kind of like give you a bit of an overview and a feel. So if you're going to be 19 and above at the time that you'll start the course with us, you potentially could be taking advantage of an advanced learner loan. That loan will then be used to pay some, if not all, of your tuition fees, meaning that you're then going to be kind of like focusing on actually doing really well academically rather than thinking about all of the different challenges that come with associated for paying of fees and such fun. If you do take out an advanced learner loan, repayments of that loan are based upon earnings, and they'll be taken directly out of your salary at a later point when you start earning above a certain amount. Anyone who does take out an advanced learner loan for their access to higher education course, if you then go on to complete a degree, you then become eligible to then have those fees written off. So if you assume that a degree is going to be 3 years and then you then have your access course as well, that's then 4 years worth of fees. On completion of that degree, this first year, your access to HE course, those fees are then kind of like written off. You do have to be resident in the UK for the last 3 years in order to be eligible. And if you're aged between 19 and 23, this is your first level 3 course, that those course fees will be remitted. So there are lots of different options. Some of our students do also pay for themselves. It's completely and utterly your choice. And obviously, depending upon your own personal circumstances, one may be a preferable option for you. So please do come and like spend some time with our guidance team investigating that. So why should you study an access to higher education course? Well, 98% of my students go to university. That's amazing, and that's way more than kind of like A-level students and BTEC students as well. The course is specifically designed to support your progression into university. We don't sit there and write our qualifications and not talk to universities, and these qualifications are also not given to us. So we work in conjunction with all of our local universities to make sure that our access courses are providing students with the best opportunity to be supported when they get into university with underpinning knowledge and skills that they're going to need. University can be quite daunting if it's been quite a while since you've done your level 3 qualification, and it can be quite daunting if you've never kind of studied at that level before. And so by studying an access to higher education course, you're getting back in the groove of learning and making friendships and building communities and changing your life in a really positive way, and an access course will support you to do that. For many of our students as well, they've also not had that traditional kind of sixth form experience, and getting back into study is a really huge commitment and a huge step. And to go straight from kind of like your GCSE straight into kind of like a degree, that's a step too far for most of us, I would say. And so therefore that access course, as I said, will give you the skills and the knowledge that you need to make that transition. Our students, when they get to university, quite often tell us that their access course was harder than the degree they're currently studying. And I take that as a massive testament to the ability of my staff to build students' confidence and to give them the skills and the knowledge that they need in order to be successful. Many students, when they leave sixth form at 18, don't have the same skill set that our mature access to higher education students do. You've got a whole pile of life experience, and that's incredibly valuable. But once you've studied an access course, you already know how to do a lot of the academic skills that at 18 their universities are actually having to teach those students. So it's a really good foundation for you to kind of like build upon and move up from. Now, one of your options in terms of progressing into university is to actually study a foundation year at a university. And so what we've done here is to make a bit of a comparison for you so that you can see what the difference is. So an access to higher education course is generally about half the cost of a foundation year at university. And that may well be an attractive reason for you to consider that over a foundation year. You'll also be learning alongside other mature students who've got very similar backgrounds to yourself. Some of them may be like you, didn't have a great experience at school, maybe didn't even have a great experience at sixth form. And this is your opportunity to do something really positive with your life while you're looking after family and work and all of those other things that we do as adults. So they're all in exactly the same shoes as you, so you'll be very much shared experience. You'll be building on your academic skills and your confidence, whereas on many foundation years it's assumed that you can do many of the things that we'll be teaching you today. It's also an opportunity to gain those qualifications before you actually apply to university. And what that does is it gives you many more options. Sometimes studying a foundation year at some universities can mean that you're then tied into that for a degree, whereas studying an access course will expose you to different types of options and opportunities that maybe you hadn't necessarily thought of. So it gives you that opportunity and that flexibility to kind of like go in a pathway that actually suits you and what you want to do. And finally, the extra support and advice that you're going to get will actually prepare you for that degree, potentially better than what you would get on a foundation year. It is about choosing the right option for you. And I would urge that you actually check out all of your options and you make a really good informed decision and choice before you actually make that decision. So what our students say, so kind of like I'm just going to choose a few and read them out to you. So Luke here, he progressed and started at the beginning by getting pass grades, and that's fantastic. And by the end of the academic year was getting our top grade of distinction. The outcome of all of that hard work was then an offer to study zoology at Hull, which is an amazing achievement and far surpassed Luke's initial expectations. He's currently now in his second year and he's doing really well. He stays in contact and lets us know how he's doing. He's doing incredibly well. Peter is also now in his second year at dental school, and through the support of his teachers was able to progress and actually achieve everything that he wanted to be. He'd always wanted to work as a dental surgeon, and he's now getting that opportunity via the course and the support that he's received from us and the advice that he received from the guidance team along the way. And we will support you to complete your university application. We'll write your references for you and we'll talk you through how to do that properly, using all of the appropriate channels that you need to. Let's take Christopher there. A competent strategy towards the 3 crucial years of a bachelor's degree. And that's really important. Chris has just finished his degree in the summer, and he's now moved on to the world of work. And those 3 years that he studied on his bachelor's degree were really underpinned by everything that he'd kind of done with us in his first year of kind of trying to transform his life. Chris is now based in America and is working very hard in LA trying to get employment and so on and so forth. So kind of like he's doing really well. He's working as a film director. So you can imagine there's not a lot of action at the moment, but he's got a couple of things already in the can, shall we say. Keep an eye out for that name, yeah, coming to a screen near you. Liam there at the bottom, tutors facilitating your growth. It's very much a personalised pathway that you each take with us. We don't assume that any of you know any of the basics, and we kind of assess that and look at kind of like who knows what and where are we going and what do we need to work on a little bit more for each of you. So it is very much a personalised programme, which he kind of like is very much reflecting there. And again, it's about that support that he felt, he and many others, in fact all of our students, receive as part of that course to make that step and that leap. It's a big one, yeah, and for many of you that may well be kind of like, really, well, yeah, I think that, is this me? I'm not sure. I strongly urge you to do it. You know, it's not done him any harm by any stretch of the imagination, so please make sure you do. So Abby, it's an amazing head start to everything that they are then going on to learn. Abby was one of our nursing midwifery students. That underpinning knowledge that you get as part of that diploma really does stand you in very good stead. In regardless of what field you go into, the underpinning knowledge is going to be there with you forever. Mary would recommend the course. She was one of our nursing students as well, working on our work release programs. We also have a variety of different ways you can study these courses. Mary didn't have a lot of faith in herself at the beginning. She had a young family. The youngest was about to go into school. In fact, the same year that she started with us, her youngster went into school as well. And was, you know, this young person was told very firmly, yeah, please don't write on mummy's homework. They used to do their homework together at the kitchen table. And unfortunately, the young person did decide that she was going to scribble all over the back of mummy's homework. So her teacher wrote her a little note, and I say this because it was me, and we backed and forth and off we went. But when they went in for parents' evening, Mary was told by Littland's teacher that she was doing really well, and she was very kind of like strict about doing her homework. And Mary had to explain that that was because Mary's teacher, i.e. me, was very much encouraging the young person as well. So it's very much an inclusive atmosphere. Nobody's excluded. It doesn't matter whether you've got 20 kids, no kids, whether you're 54 or whether you're 19. We're all in it together, and it's a learning journey that we experience together and that we really want to support you in. She's now in her own second year as well, and as she said, it's a really brilliant step up if you haven't studied in a while. A great opportunity to really do something amazing with your lives. God, makes me feel funny seeing that model come like now on screen and all of its parts being put back in. So there are many different ways that you can progress onto a degree. You may well decide to go via an Access to Higher Education diploma. That's absolutely fine. There are also 1, 2 and 3 year qualifications that you can also take instead. You could maybe look at moving into maybe a HNC or a HND, maybe even a foundation degree, but ideally a bachelor's degree would probably be the way that most of you will probably access university. So as you can see there, an Access to Higher Education diploma is in exactly the same level as level 3 qualifications at BTEC, for example, and it's also the same level as an A-level qualification. And therefore the route after that at level 4 is then exactly the same. So it doesn't matter whether you've studied A-levels or a BTEC level 3 or an Access to Higher Education course. The outcome is exactly the same, progression in a way that you choose to do it. So as I said, some people go HNC, D, and then their final year top up. Some people go straight onto their degree, and it's whatever works for you and how you want to change your career. Here at UCEN Manchester, our degrees are underwritten, they're validated by Sheffield Hallam or by Pearson, both well-established organisations, and Sheffield Hallam's a great university as well. So we have a range of different courses, some of which you may well have stepped into today, in a range of different areas, everything from the Arden School of Theatre and Performing Arts right the way through to Creative Arts, Criminology, Health and Care, to Sport and Exercise and Teacher Education. And what we've done is we've aligned some of our own access qualifications with these degrees as well. So not only are we consulting with Salford University and Manchester University and UCLan and Cheshire and Liverpool John Moores, we've also consulted with our higher education colleagues at UCEN Manchester to check that our access to higher education diplomas really are fit for purpose. They really are providing with the underpinning skills and knowledge you need in order to be as successful as you can be on your degree. So, Matt, I'll open it to you, or Izzy. Have we got any questions?
Yeah, thanks for that, Michelle.
No worries.
Really lovely to hear. So we do have a couple of questions. So I'll start with this one. Can I apply for a full student loan for an access course?
So yes, you can, but you will only get the cost of the fees.
Yeah, so that kind of covers the tuition element of it rather than the maintenance side.
Absolutely. So unlike a university kind of like loan, where you do get kind of like, as you say, your maintenance and your fees, on an advanced learner loan, it's just the cost of the fees.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And this one is, can you study GCSE maths or English alongside the combined science course?
Alongside combined science, I'm going to say right at this second, I haven't got that immediately to hand, but I will, if we can take that person's name, I will drop them an email afterwards, or if they could send you their email address, we can get that information out to them, not at all a problem.
Thanks, Michelle. Have you got anything you can say generally about people studying a GCSE alongside an access course?
So in the main, our science and engineering courses, predominantly medicine, dentistry, pharmacy and vet science and zoology. The medical schools and the veterinary schools do like students to have all of their GCSEs before they start on their access course. So for us, it's really important that you've got those in place, and we look to our medical schools, for example, for what GCSEs are they actually requesting, and that's then part of our own entry requirements. On many of our other courses, so for example, if I just take one at random, so English, writing and media, most of those students will go on to very creative fields involving journalism, being a director and journalist and those types of things. And so therefore the requirement of maths is significantly less. But if a student feels that they particularly want to have that, that's absolutely fine, and we can see if we can integrate that into a timetable alongside it. But an access course is incredibly demanding. It's 20 units worth of work in 10 months. It's a bit like that Mission Impossible film. Oh, it's called Mission Impossible. where Tom Cruise is dangling on the kind of like the train, and his jacket comes off and he loses a hand and those types of things. The trick with an access course is to keep on going. Yeah, it is like a train. It's going to go whether you're on it or not. You just need to get on it and you need to stay on it and you need to keep going. Having then a GCSE to work alongside can be a little bit distracting. So in an ideal world, we would like you to have everything that you would need and want in order to progress to university. But for those students, as I say, who maybe might want to pick up a GCSE maths, for example, or functional skills level 2 maths alongside something that doesn't require it, that is possible today.
Okay, thanks for that, Michelle. Our next question's in relation to, so does the new National Skills Fund from the government, which I think comes into play from April next year, how would that apply for access courses?
Yeah, so the answer to that is nobody knows. It came as a little bit of a shock when that got announced on the news and in the chamber. We haven't actually received any further guidance from the government in regards to that. So I will say watch this space. Let's see what the rules are when they come out. None of us know at the moment, I'm afraid.
Yeah, thanks for that. I guess it's another good option to have, and obviously shows the value of that kind of lifelong learning as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And the commitment of kind of like the government, but also Manchester local community and local council are very much on adult lifelong learning, and seeing that as a way for kind of like people to transform their lives, to transform their communities. And at the moment, given the situation we're in, are also very important for the economic recovery of our country. So I suspect it will include an access course, but I can't say for definite at the moment.
Thanks, Michelle. We've got a couple of questions here, again, around student loans and such. Can you still apply with an existing student loan? So I think that's in reference to somebody who's maybe previously studied at a higher level and then is looking to do an access course.
Okay, so unfortunately I don't work for the guidance team, so I don't know the specific rules around that, and I would suggest that you do contact our guidance team. You can also contact the student loan company directly yourself, Student Finance England, and ask them, or maybe even go to their website and look around that.
Yeah, and just on that as well, I'll pop this in the chat as well, but we are running a future use student support drop-in tomorrow night between 5 and 7. So if you do have really specific questions, especially around funding, I'd signpost you to do that. I'll also pop their email in there. So if there's a better time that suits you and you just want to email them with your specific questions, we'll pop that in the chat now as well, because I think it is obviously on a real case-by-case basis when it comes to that funding, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and that's a great idea, and please do drop into that. I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
We've got another question here on what's the difference between a HNC and a HND.
So a HNC is the first year of it's a certificate, a higher national certificate, generally awarded by Pearson, and the HND is then the second year part of that, so the higher national diploma. So at level 4 and 5, so the equivalent of, say, a first and a second year Bachelor of Arts degree or a Bachelor of Science degree.
Michelle, and then again, kind of this might fit in more to that careers and welfare remit, but is there anywhere available for tutorials on how to apply through UCAS? And details like buzzwords and stuff like that. Michelle, I don't know if you can talk on that.
Yeah, I can. So each of our courses has a course leader attached to them, and their job, a bit like maybe personal tutor at school, that type of role, their job is to actually support you through that entire UCAS process. They'll also write your reference. And sitting alongside that, I've got 2 amazing achievement tutors who support you in kind of like writing your kind of personal statements and those types of things, helping you to maybe make some important life-changing decisions for yourself. And our guidance team come in right at the very beginning of that process, which we're now halfway through. We literally started in September, we're halfway through. We already have students who've applied to university to go, right, here are our buzzwords, this is how you do it, click here, do this, and then to provide you with some wider support kind of like along the way in terms of finance and those types of things. So yeah, lots of support in place in order to support that journey. And like I say, you'll be applying to university pretty much as soon as you start. So we'll be kind of like guiding you along the way in those very early days so that you can get that application in early and get some early decisions from universities, which I hope you'll then use as that inspiration to carry on working really hard on your access course.
Thanks for that, Michelle. I feel like we've got, so that's all about that. We've had that student's email back, which is brilliant. I've just popped in the chat there about the drop-ins. Are there any other questions that we've got just before we kind of maybe finish up? Because that looks like we've whipped through those questions quite quickly.
Yeah.
Just also on that, if you are looking at making an application to UCAS this year, I've just popped in a helpful tutorial on how that kind of UCAS process does work, just so you've got an idea whether it's something that you're using to apply for some foundation courses, if that's another option that you're exploring, but equally if you do need that kind of just longer term, or you want to know what's involved in that.
Yeah. In terms of how you apply for an Access to Higher Education course at the college, if you go onto our website, you'll find all of our Access to Higher Education courses there. Just click on apply and you can start making your application. It's very easy and really simple, and our admin team will then be in contact to ask you to upload your qualifications, mainly GCSE English and Maths, so that we can then start to make you some offers and get you on that journey.
Brilliant. Well, I think that's the last of our questions. We'll take down that email, so thank you for sending that through, and thank you very much, Michelle, for your time tonight. It's been a really informative session and really nice to obviously see you as well as one of the team there at UCEN Manchester as part of Access. So thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Lovely to see you all, and have a nice safe evening, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.